right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are going to talk about the other preseason matchups for this weekend. So let's kind of go through them. We are going to see some starters play. I know, just checking around, seeing, who's going to play, who's not going to play. We are going to see some starters play in some of these games. Like, for example, the Steelers and the Texans. They'll be going at it tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That game is going to be on NFL Network. Justin Fields, I think, is playing in this game, as well as C.J. Stroud. Now, they're obviously not going to play for that much, but at least we'll see them for a little bit. No Russell Wilson, though. But, and the Steelers, of course, still in the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes. And who knows when that's ever going to end. I mean, at least there's more news that, maybe they are open to trading him. But, the 49ers are asking for a lot for Ayuk. And one of the things that the Steelers are criticized for, at least on one of the Steelers fan pages that I was looking at on social media, is, well, if you had Deontay Johnson still, and you didn't trade him, you could have traded him to the 49ers maybe, and you could have got Ayuk. Because the 49ers want a receiver in return. And the only receiver that they really look at that has value is George Pickens. Because you got, young guys like Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson, but you also have veterans like, Quez Watkins, Van Jefferson, and I think Scotty Miller as well. And, the 49ers don't want those guys. So it's either either Pickens or Freiermuth, and obviously they want draft picks, but the Steelers don't want to do that. But they're still trying, it seems. But so the Steelers are the home team for this game. They are a 2.5-point underdog in this game as well. But yeah, we're going to see Justin Fields. I would imagine we're going to see Kyle Allen as well. We are not going to see Russell Wilson. So. But yeah, that's one of the games that's tonight. You also have the Falcons and the Dolphins. I'm assuming we will see Michael Penix Jr. Kirk Cousins will not be playing in the preseason, so we will probably be seeing Michael Penix Jr., and if not, we'll see Taylor Heineke, who is still on the roster. For the Dolphins, I mean, I would imagine, I think they still have Skylar Thompson, so we'll probably see him. I don't believe Tua is playing in this game. But that's the other game that's on tonight. That is also at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Dolphins are 2.5-point underdogs. And then we also have at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Ravens and the Eagles, who will be playing each other later in the season, which that should be a really good game. And of course, you have the reigning MVP and Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts and the Eagles trying to, bounce back from the rough ending to their season last year. So, Ravens are a +1 underdog in this game. I mean, I'm just giving you those numbers. Although I really don't advise to make wagers in preseason games because it's just, I don't know. I think it's meaningless, but people do it, and I'm not gonna judge. But I do think, wait till the regular season. But that's just me. And you know what? I know people are really, they really want to, get to the regular season so they can do that, and that's why I use the preseason. But you don't know what to expect out of preseason because the starters aren't playing. But, if you're very knowledgeable about all the rosters and you're an expert on that, and you want to gamble it, then by all means. But I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, that's the other game that's on tonight. I thought that the Commanders and the Jets were on as well, but they're on tomorrow. They're on at actually 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Jordan Love is expected to play for the Packers tomorrow, as well as Jameis Winston, I think, is getting the start for the Browns. So the Browns and the Packers will be matching up. That's at 4:25 Eastern time tomorrow. Commanders and Jets. That's 12 p.m. Eastern time. Jaden Daniels will be making his debut, so we'll obviously talk about that. I know I brought that up earlier this week. For the Jets, Aaron Rodgers is not playing, so Tyrod Taylor, I think, is going to get the start. I wonder if we're going to see. I don't know if that was made, if news was made there, but um, if Jordan Travis is going to be playing in the preseason at all. I could be wrong, but yeah, no, I'm looking right now. I see because the Jets also signed another quarterback, so Jordan Travis, yeah, is probably still ways away from uh, being healthy, working his way back from his injury last year. But yeah, so Tyrod Taylor is likely the starter. But you also have the other quarterback that they brought in from the UFL, Adrian Martinez and Andrew Peasley as well. So those guys could be getting action tomorrow, along with Jaden Daniels. Other matchups as well. Oh yeah, so the Dolphins. Yeah, so we don't really know exactly because some of the matchups it is confirmed like who will be starting at least. But yeah, we can only assume for Dolphins Falcons, which I just talked about. Now the Bills and the Bears. Caleb Williams is going to be starting. The starters will play, so we'll get to see his first game action. So that's exciting. And we're going to see Josh Allen play. So we're going to see him and him kind of working with the new receivers a little bit tomorrow, which will be nice. So looking forward to that. The Caleb Williams debut is very much anticipated, and they're going to cover that, I'm sure, on the next episode of Hard Knocks. So that's exciting. We might see, well, we probably are going to see both Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. The Raiders and the Vikings will see them. Sam Darnold will be starting as well for the Vikings. So we'll see both Raider quarterbacks in action. That's one of the more interesting quarterback competitions is the Raiders. Who's going to end up being the starter? Because on one hand, you got everybody saying, well, it should be Minshew because of how he played last year, but then also, like, from the Raiders' perspective, Aiden O'Connell did, an okay job when he took over for Jimmy Garoppolo last year. So, Antonio Pierce didn't really say who's going to start. I mean, I think both quarterbacks are going to get an opportunity to start in the preseason, as well as we might see them. I think it's safe to say. I don't know if it's safe to say, but I think we're going to see both of them play in the regular season. They're both going to end up playing at some point. Whether one quarterback gets hurt or is ineffective, I think they're both going to play. Even if one of them doesn't win the starting job. That's just my opinion. But let me know what you guys think about that. We went over the Packers and the Browns. Joe Burrow is actually going to play in the game against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, it looks like it's either going to be Kyle Trask or John Wolford starting. Those are the other quarterbacks on the roster besides Baker Mayfield. The 49ers and the Titans, Will Levis is going to play. Brock Purdy, probably not. The 49ers did bring in Josh Dobbs. I do remember that. So there's him. They also have Brandon Allen and Tanner Mordecai as well. The Jaguars and the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes will be playing, as well as Trevor Lawrence. So that'll be nice. These two guys have gone at it the past couple of years. So we'll be seeing them a little bit. The Chargers, without Justin Herbert, Easton Stick will be starting. But we'll see what the Seahawks do. Geno Smith was a little banged up. Is he going to play? Because they also have Sam Howell and P.J. Walker on the roster. And the Chargers, they have Max Duggan, the old TCU quarterback, former TCU quarterback. And then the Saints and the Cardinals, Derek Carr maybe plays. Who knows? Same thing. Kyler Murray will not play in the preseason opener, so we're going to see Clayton Tune or Desmond Ridder start for the Cardinals. And then for the Saints, you got Spencer Rattler, who's one of the quarterbacks that could start. And then the final two games, we'll see what the Cowboys and the Rams do. Probably see Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, and then we'll see what the Rams end up doing because they also have a Stenson Bennett and Dresser Wynn Oh, I actually am not familiar with him. But Jimmy Garoppolo has not looked good in camp, so he might not even make the team. And then for the Colts and the Broncos, we'll see if Jared Stidham ends up starting. You got Zach Wilson, I think all those quarterbacks will probably see time. And then as for the Colts, Joe Flacco's on the team. Anthony Richardson, we'll see if he plays. They still have Sam Ellinger, Kadan Slovis, and Jason Bean are also on the roster. So they got some decisions to make there with the remaining spots on the depth chart for the quarterbacks. But yeah, so those are all the matchups, and we just took a look at the quarterbacks that are going to be playing. But yeah, I mean the one to pay attention to on Saturday, Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence are going to be playing for a little bit. Josh Allen and Caleb Williams. So there's some things to look forward to this weekend, seeing the starters. Just that football's back in general. It's definitely exciting. But yeah, so those are the matchups for this weekend. Let me know what you guys think, though. What matchup are you excited for? What player are you excited to see make his debut? I know Marvin Harrison Jr. of the Cardinals. He is going to be playing, I believe, in the game against the Saints. So, we'll keep an eye on things. We're going to make sure to kind of hover around and see what's going on. But yeah, NFL Network is broadcasting a lot of these games. So, there'll be football on, from now till February that you'll be able to watch. So those are the matchups for this weekend. What are you most excited about from these games this weekend? And again, let me know what you guys thought about last night's games as well. Again, not a lot of scoring, but again, it's the first preseason game, so. But it'll be nice to see at least some of the starters play, just so again that gives you more of an incentive to watch. Also because it's your team. But I think I've also just been starving for football and just being able to watch it. That at this point with the preseason, I really don't care. I just want to watch it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think though about the matchups. So before we go to break, I just want to remind you guys once again. Now I got to say it differently once again. So we did qualify for Super Chats. So if you want to get your comment featured on the show, make sure to go to the bottom of the chat menu on YouTube and click on the $sign. And by you tipping or donating to the show, your comment will get highlighted on the live show. I will make sure to acknowledge it. And it's just a great way for the show to be more interactive, because that's what it's really all about, is being a more interactive show. So if you do that, that really helps out the show, and we really appreciate your comments and you guys viewing the show each and every day. So if you want to do that, like I said, we'd really appreciate it. But also, if you'd rather do it the old way, the link is still at the bottom of the ticker of the show segment, GSMCPodcast.net, if you want to do that as well. Because with the Super Chats, you don't leave the stream. Because with the link, you have to click on the link and go away from the video, and then you miss stuff. Now, obviously, you can go back and watch what you missed. But the Super Chat is a much easier way to tip or donate to the show without having to click out. So make sure to do that. And like I said, we really appreciate it. So when we come back from our second break of the show, we will talk about Nick Foles recently announcing his retirement from the NFL. And obviously, I want to highlight, his performance in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. So we'll talk about that in his career as a whole when we come back from our second break of the show. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.